Hey book lovers, Kaylee here, and welcome back to the Enchanted Library. And as you are watching this video, I am actually up at a cottage, and I am celebrating one of my cousin's birthdays, and the whole family is going up to a cottage, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Did the same thing last year, but also the craziness that is going on is that it's almost going to be the end of Booktubeathon. As I'm filming this, it hasn't even started yet, but I am so excited for it to happen, and I'm so sad to think that this video is coming out the day before it's done. I mean, that's just crazy. But I thought that it would be a great time to do this video because after doing a really long binge session of reading, either be it a 24-hour readathon or a week-long Booktubeathon, sometimes people get into a reading slump. It is a reality that is a very, very sad thing, but it happens. It happens to me. I'm sure it's happened to you. And throughout my many years, I have come up with some tried and true methods that help me, at least, get through a book slump. Reading slump, book slump, they're pretty much the same thing. It's when you just can't seem to find something to read. Nothing keeps your attention. It's just book after book after book, or you just don't feel in the mood at all. That is a dire situation indeed, my friends. So I hope that at least some of you find these methods helpful and will get you out of your book or reading slump. Number one is probably my most used, and that is reread a favorite book. I mean, you love the books for a reason, you love reading for a reason, so why not revisit something that gave you such good feelings when you were reading it the first time? I have a whole list of books that I will return to and reread, and I could make a whole other video on that, so that's for another time. But go to your bookshelves, pick a classic, pick something that you read maybe when you were a teenager and you just haven't read for a few years, or just pick something that you've read before, reread it, and find something new about it that you maybe missed the last time you read it. I always find that this one just reinvigorates my need to read and why reading just means so much to me. Number two is probably a weird one for some people, but that is to read a biography or an autobiography. And the reason that I find that this helps is because I am drawn to creative people. So when I read a biography, it's going to be about a creative person, be it an author or someone that I just admired as a child, or someone who is in the same field as me, etc. So I find that reading their stories or someone else's interpretation of their stories helps me a lot because it reinvigorates my creativity. It makes me sort of be refreshed and makes me maybe want to even read some of their other books because you learn so much from an autobiography or a biography, and it just, I don't know how else to explain it. It just helps me want to read more in the regular fiction that I read. So even though it's a nonfiction, it definitely helps me read more fiction. Number three I find helps a lot, and that's just to visit a bookstore. So you'll walk into the bookstore, all of your old friends will greet you, and you just walk around, check out the new releases, go to your favorite section, peruse the stacks, and just find a book. So something is going to jump out at you. There's going to be a new book out. There's going to be a new cover release that draws you to a particular book. And it's just going to get you excited again. It's going to make you want to read. You'll see a book and it's just going to hit you that you're going to want to read it. So buy that book, take that book home and read it immediately because clearly your mind wants to read. Your body wants to read. And that book just triggered it. Number four, I've used this one a couple of times, and it's a hit or miss, but sometimes it does help, and that is watching a book-to-movie adaptation. And this works in two different ways. So watching a book-to-movie adaptation is very much a hit or miss because you either love it or you hate it, and either one of those gets you wanting to read more. Reason one is you love it, which is the rarer of the two, but you love the book-to-movie adaptation so much you just remember how good it is to read, how amazing that story is, and how someone's mind came up with it. So it just gets in the back of your head and then makes you want to read either, if it's a series, the next book in the series, or just read in general because it's your imagination going crazy. And number two is you hate it. So you remember why book-to-movie adaptations don't really work because they can't get it as good as your head can. So it will make you want to read, so then that way you can like the story better or love the story where the movie had failed you. So that one's kind of pushing you into that direction, but I find that it does help. Number 5 is to pick up some new reading essentials. So when I read, I like to be cozy, I like to have a tea, so why not refresh your reading routine? So you might always grab the same sweater, you might always grab the same blanket, but what if you were to say, go out to the store, pick up a brand new cozy sweater or a new cozy blanket, or pick up a new tea that you haven't tried before, or a new snack, or whatever you like to do while you're reading or like to have while you're reading, because then it'll just get you even more excited to use those things. Number 6 is to watch BookTube. There are thousands upon thousands of hours of bookish people talking like I am talking at you right now and getting excited about books. And how is that not infectious in the best way and making you want to read and making you want to enjoy the same stories that they are enjoying? And it's just, it really is an energy that people feed off of. And I love to be a part of this community. I watch BookTube all the time, and it really does reinvigorate my need to read. Plus, one of the amazing benefits of YouTube is just learning about books you maybe never knew about. So why not look at a booktuber's TBR or look at their shelves in the background and see a book that just stands out to you and go and pick it up. And that definitely helps get you out of a slump. Number 7 involves a little bit of digging, but it's worth it, because number 7 is to find an author that you enjoyed's backlist. So your favorite author that you just discovered probably has been around a while, and they probably have a bunch of other books that have been published. So why not do a little digging, find some of their early works, and read up on them? Because why not see the progression of your favorite author from start to where they are now? It's very exciting, and you'd be surprised how many of your favorite authors you think you've read all the books of, but you actually haven't. So that one involves a little bit of sleuthing, but it is very fun, and you know it's going to be worth it because they're your favorite author for a reason. So why not look into them some more? Number 8 is to write. And it might not seem too intuitive in that respect, but really it works in the background of your brain because you can't find something to read for a reason. There is something that is preventing you from reading, and it might be because you can't find the type of story that you want to read. So what can help with that is writing that story. If you can't find a book that you want to read, make it yourself, because clearly you have an idea in your mind, and why not get that out on screen or on paper? It could just be for your own enjoyment. You could actually be working towards a goal of getting published, but writing gets your own creative juices flowing, and then you end up wanting to pick up a book that is similar to yours to either get some help or to make sure that you're not copying, things like that. But it just makes you want to read because you're writing something about a certain thing, and why not see what other people in that same field have done? And it's just, I love writing to fix a book slump because it really does just show you the creativity of the world. You end up coming up with ideas that you probably never thought you would come up with in a million years, but it's surprising what is locked away in your brain, and that's just going to make you want to read. Number 9 is something that I've used for a few years and didn't realize it was actually a thing on BookTube, and that's to try a chapter. I never called it that, but it's basically what it is. So just grab a stack of books from your to-be-read shelf, flip through the first few pages of them, see what catches your eye, what writer's style you're really invested in, what storyline really grips you from the start, and just go for it. Once you find that book, read it. It may take a couple of shelves of your TBR. It might be the first book that you pick up, but just start flipping through pages and something is going to catch your eye. And then number 10, because I like how it's a nice round number, number 10 is one that you might not actually think is a good idea, but sometimes you just have to let the slump happen. I know it's sad, I know it can be a bit depressing, but you don't want to force yourself into something that you're just not in the mood for. It's going to ruin the entire idea of reading for you. If reading becomes a job or if reading becomes a task, it's not going to be fun anymore. You still want to enjoy it for the same reasons that you enjoyed it when you were a kid, for the same reasons that you enjoyed it when you found your first favorite book. There is a reason that you love to read, and there is a reason that your brain needs to not read for a little while sometimes. So if number 1 through 9 does not work for you, it might just be something you have to let happen. You might go a month where you don't read. You might just go a few days. But at any rate, sometimes you just have to let it happen, and then before you know it, you are going to pick up a book that you are going to love. Alright, so those are 10 ways that I get out of a reading slump. If you have tried any of these methods, or if you have any methods that you do yourself, definitely leave them in the comments down below, because we can work together as a community, as a team, to help everybody get out of the book slump. Because, like I said at the start of this video, sometimes after marathoning a bunch of reading, your brain turns off. And in case that happens after the booktubeathon or after Dewey's reverse readathon, then this might come in handy for some of you, and I hope that it does. But be sure to like and share this video, so then that way if you have friends who are in a similar situation, that they can hopefully take this advice and it'll help them get out of their reading slump. And subscribe to my channel for more videos. And it's going to be probably next week that I'm going to be posting my booktubeathon vlog, because like I said at the start, it hasn't happened yet. The booktubeathon has not started, but I do plan on vlogging it, and I'm very excited. I really cannot wait. I've got 7 books ready to go, and when I come back from the cottage, I'm going to be ready to edit, and I can't wait. So yes, be sure to subscribe to my videos for more content. I put out new videos every weekend, as well as some sprinkled throughout the week as little bonus videos, and until next time, keep reading.